Hi, welcome to Mr. Gillette's World History class. I just want to take a second, kind of go over the syllabus with you. If you are watching the video, then they find that easier than reading. Hopefully I can do this a little bit quicker than it would take to read, but I just want to go over a few things. This history class is going to be different than what your student and you are probably used to. We are a skills-based class. So my main focus is on teaching reading, writing, and historical thinking skills. My whole goal of this class is to give them something at the end that they can use that's transferable. So we don't do a lot with Google type answers. We don't memorize a lot of names and dates, but what we do is a lot of reading of primary sources. And what we do is a lot of critical thinking where students are given information. They're asked to form an opinion and support that opinion with information. And my theory, my philosophy is that anything that you can Google isn't really a valid thing for us to spend a lot of time on. We'll still talk about names and dates, basic pieces of information, but if they can look it up in 30 seconds or something that they can forget, it doesn't do them any good in the long run. So I'm really focused on trying to teach them skills that will help them the next 2 years in high school and then whatever they decide to do after high school. So kind of the course elements as we go through the syllabus, we are looking at a student-centered learning environment. Students are going to drive the learning. My big focus this year is trying to establish purpose with what we do. So not only focusing on the skills, but why do we need to learn this? So we're actually going to start history in modern day and work backwards. And the idea is we're going to look at each of our units, problems that we see, students see, student questions about the real world in those areas, and then we're going to work backwards and explain the historical context to those issues. So things like, is it our job to be the world's police officers? How did we get in that position? Why are we the only ones that seem to feel it's our responsibility to intervene in other countries? And things kind of like that. And then work backwards. So hopefully we set the purpose up front. It's going to be a lot of research-based, a lot of independent inquiry-based learning. The historical thinking skills that we're going to kind of deal with are focusing on crafting arguments from historical evidence, chronological reasoning, in other words, putting things in order and making sense of why one thing happens after the other, comparing and adding context to the documents, and interpreting historical documents. We also will do a lot in groups. For the most part, we won't do anything that is lecture-based. If it needs to be lecture to introduce a unit, most of the time I'll do a video lecture, what I'll refer to as like flipped classroom, where students can watch the lecture on their phone or on one of my computers or iPad or whatever it is they have, and then they can pause and take notes at their own pace versus having to stop when the rest of the class stops. So again, student-centered, and the idea is they can do that at home, they can do it in school, they can do it whatever, but it's the idea that they can work at their own pace and get what they need to out of it. We'll also spend quite a bit of time after the first unit doing independent learning, what we're going to call 20% time. Students are going to be given 1 day a week on average to work on a self-selected project, and I'll negotiate that project with them, but on the current unit that we're studying, they're going to do their own project, something that they're interested in doing. They're going to pick how they're going to demonstrate the skills that they're working on from a list of skills I give them, and they're going to have their time to do that. Whether it's independent or in groups will be up to them. Things that you need to be aware of, we do a lot with technology. We use Edmodo, Selly, Prezi, YouTube, and a whole bunch of other things in between. Google Docs is another one. But anytime there is a assignment that uses technology outside of class, they'll have at least 3 days to do it. So know that there's time built in case people don't have access, in case something breaks, in case their printer's down. I have 10 computers in my classroom that they can use before school, after school, during their lunch hour. So there should never be an access issue. If you hear, oh my gosh, he didn't give me time, that's not true. There was other time built in, it's just they chose to wait till the end. So just kind of be aware that if you ever have any questions on technology, please call me, email me, just get a hold of me and we'll talk through it and we'll make it work. Class grading, about 70% of the grades can be their presentations, their projects, their speeches, papers, be their formal assessments. 15% of the grade, or 30% of the grade, I guess, this year will be class participation, and that's homework, class discussion, group work. Okay, so a pretty percentage of the grade is, are they trying? I've already talked at length with them about the idea of the only way you get better is by trying. And if you give up, you can't do that. So I reward them for working hard, for being a good member of the group, for doing those types of things, because that's a big part of them being successful. Final exam will be 15% of their overall semester grade. So classroom procedures, expectations, basically they need to be on time. The only thing they really need for class is either a binder or a folder. We won't use our textbooks too often. There will be a lot of documents, so they're going to need to have an organizational method that works for them, and I'll work with them on that, but nothing major, just something to put their stuff in. I also expect them to be in class and be ready to start when the bell rings, and I expect them to be considerate, respectful of other people. I don't really do extra credit too often. When it's offered, they need to be current on their classwork, so I won't give extra credit. I won't allow someone to do extra credit who hasn't been doing their work all along. Other than that, there's the biggest thing that you get, parents and students need to know is if you need help, if you're confused, if you have a question on why we're doing something, please get a hold of me, and I will gladly explain. And if I can't explain, then we'll change it and we'll do something better. So let me know if you have any questions. The only other thing I want to mention is we use a website called Selly, and I send them texts in the morning if they have unlimited texting on their phone. It's free. It's a double-blind text message service. I don't know their phone number. They don't know my phone number. But they get text in the morning as a daily agenda of what we're doing in class that day. Sometimes if we have a test or something come up, I might send an evening reminder out saying, hey, remember you have something due tomorrow. And they can also text me. They join a group, and a private group, and they can text me if they ever have any questions. Safe and secure. All the conversations are recorded to the web, so everything is archived. But if you would like to join that, if you want to know, what we're doing in class, feel free to do that. Basically, attached to the syllabus, there'll be a guide for how to use Selly, so you can look at that, or simply text at SC History and then whatever number hour your student is with me. So if you're in second hour, it'll be at SC History 2 in the body of the message, and you text that to 23559 to opt into the group. And they'll send you a text message back asking you to create a username, and then you'd be part of the group and you get text messages. And any text that you were to send to 23559 would go to me. So I'm pretty available between Edmodo and Selly. They can get a hold of me if they need to, pretty much anytime, any evening before 9 o'clock. And I try and make it so that if they have questions, we can get them taken care of as quickly as possible. There is on the syllabus a acknowledgement form that I would like the student to have you sign. So please make sure that you sign that and your student signs that. If you can't print it out, or if you'd rather not sign it, or you forgot to sign it, an email to me will work, just saying, hey, I covered the syllabus and I know what's going on. So if you need anything, please let me know. My extension at school is 1854, so it's 591-1854. You can email me at bgillette@swcrk.org, or you can get a hold of me through Sally if you choose to do the text message. Hope we have a great year. Thanks.